Hi everyone! If you haven't already, please subscribe. Click below. It's Carolyn from Roses and Wine, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a pattern for a Hmong fitted shirt. First, you need to fold the paper in half so that you'll have two even sides. I'm going to show you how to draw one side, and then you can repeat it for the next side. So you're going to draw a line 5 inches from the center and mark that point with point A. From point A, you're going to draw a line down. I did 22 inches, but this is going to be the length of your shirt. I recommend having a longer shirt. I personally am very petite, so 22 is about enough, and I leave excess at the bottom. So drawing 22 inches, you'll be able to have from point A to point B. You're going to connect the 2 points, and then you're going to go back to point A, and where you're going to draw then you're going to go back to point A, and from there you're going to take the measurement for the opening for the neck, the back of the neck. And I do 3.5, and that's more than enough room. You're going to make sure that you keep this measurement the same when you do the back side of the shirt. So from A to A, you draw a line that's 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, that's from A to C. And then from C, you're going to draw a line all the way from C to the fold of the paper. It's going to intersect the line made from A and B. When that line intersects, that's going to be point D, and then you draw all the way down to point E at the very corner. Point D is going to serve as the line where you're going to draw your bust, to the middle of the bust. You're going to go back to point C. And this line is going to help you draw for your shoulder length. So from point C, I did about 3 inches, and I marked that as point F, and you're going to go down from point F about 1 inch, and then mark that as point G. So from C to G, that diagonal line, not the straight line, the diagonal line is actually your shoulder length. So you would take a measurement that's a little bit smaller than your shoulder length for C to F, and then that's how you'll get a longer length, because it's the hypotenuse of a triangle. So from point F, I draw a line that's the length of the shirt again, all the way down, and mark it. And now we're going to draw our bust, waist, and hip. So you need those measurements for your bust, waist, and hip. And I divided them all by 4. I also added like about 1 inch or 2 for room, because the shirt is fitted, but it's not going to be like skin tight, and we're adding darts as well. So I add about 1 to 2 inches to that measurement. So to your like bust measurement, you would add like 2 inches, and then you divide it by 4 for this measurement. So from point D, you're going to do 1/4 of your bust measurement, and then you're going to do the new. Okay, so if D to I is your bust measurement, then you're going to do your waist measurement as point J. I usually go about half that line from D to B. I usually divide that in half, and that's now you go back to point B, and you're going to draw your hip line. And this is your hip measurement from B to K, is about 1/4 of your hip measurement. And then I use a French curve and a ruler to connect the dots. The French curve, it connects to like the arm area, and then I use a ruler from the bust to the waist. You can use a French curve for this as well, if you want it like slightly rounder, but I just use a ruler and it's fine. And then from the waist to the bust, you use a French curve and connect all the dots. And then we're going to draw the waist dart. For the waist dart, you go about 4 inches. It varies depending on your body. You can I go like a little bit, about half of the waist, a little bit less than half or half of the waist. And it depends on you. You can measure it yourself if you want very precise. Make a point, that is point L, and then from point L you're going to a 1/2 inch mark from either side of L. So that's M and N, and then you're going to draw like a diamond connecting the dots, and then this is where it actually allows you to sew it in and gather it up so it's more fitted. Now we're going to draw the back of the shirt pattern. I'm going to show you one side and then you'll do the same for the other side. So you're going to fold your paper in half again, and this time instead of going 5 inches from the center, we're going to start directly on the fold. Your first mark is point A, and then from point A you make a line all the way to point B. This is the length of the shirt again. Go back to point A, you're going to draw a line 3.5 inches from A, and that's point C. Go down from point A 3.5 inches, make a mark, that's point D, and from point D you're going to go 2.5 inches, and that's point E. You're going to connect point C and point E. It will be at an angle. And then going back to point C, you're going to draw your shoulder length line again. So again, mine was a little less than, was about 3 inches. Most people will be a little bit more than 3 inches. I personally have small shoulders. So about 3 inches, mark it as F, 1 inch down from point G, and you'll be using from C to G. You'll actually be cutting the F off. And then again, we're going to do the bust, waist, and hip. So I go down from point F to, I just make a mark, it's more as a guide. From F, I went down about 10 inches, but this is the same measurement that you had from A to D. This is like the middle of your bust. But instead, we're actually not going to curve it as much. It's just going to be the back seam to help everything gather and be more fitted. And at that point, we're going to make a line that intersects and make sure that it is perpendicular to that point. Actually, and then from that point, that's where we're going to draw another line for your bust. So that you're going to take your bust measurement again, divide it by 4, and that's how we're going to get this line. And then the waist for J, your waist measurement divided by 4, and your hip measurement divided by 4 for K. And then we're going to draw the waist dart. For the waist dart, you go about 4 inches from the fold. It varies depending on your body. You can I go a little bit, about half of the waist, a little bit less than half or half of the waist. And it depends on you. You can measure it yourself if you want very precise. Make a point, that is point L, and then from point L you're going to make 1/2 inch mark from either side of L. So that's M and N, and then you're going to draw like a diamond connecting the dots, and then this is where it actually allows you to sew it in and gather it up. So